We are here in Melrose Alley in Hollywood, just one of the many prolific street art meccas in Los Angeles. From megastars like Banksy to Circle, street artists and the art they create have become more than something you see tagged on a wall. It's transcended into the world of fine art and big bucks. Just off Melrose Alley is a true signifier of this, Soho Design House, the first art rug store in the world. What's going on? It's your boy Jeremiah, Alexis, and I'm with my boy Jacob Rahman. How are you, sir?
Good, I'm well, brother. How are you?
Great. You sell art rugs. Talk a little bit about art rugs.
This is Soho Design House, and we're the world's only art rug makers and dealers. I grew up really around art. I loved art, and then I started studying design. And I realized when I was studying design that there's not really a colorful rug like this. You see geometrics, you see swirls and patterns and whatever, but nothing really crazy. So I had the idea to reach out to some of my favorite artists and be like, yo, do you want to do a rug? And this is the culmination of it.
So your story about how you actually reached out to them, you were like in the middle of Afghanistan in like a bunker, reaching out to people on this crazy government Wi-Fi. All right, talk a little bit about that.
From 2010 to 2014, I was stationed in southern Afghanistan. I was working with the U.S. Department of Defense in a mercenary sort of situation. Life is so finite. Like, what are we living for? If we're not doing what we really want to do, are we really living life? I think that came about because it was such an extreme sort of situation and people were dying. So I said, you know what? I really want to make this project of these crazy rugs come to life. Reached out to some suppliers, and then I needed the artists. They were the other component. Because of circumstances and where I was, I had to reach out through, the military, internet and choppy Skype and whatever.
We'll take a look at these rugs. They're not your Costco, Walmart variety rug. Like, in addition to the design, the actual construction of the rug is next level.
The artists that we go for are urban contemporary, so we don't try to go just for street artists. We have fine painters, we have muralists and graphic designers. Their vein is that urban contemporary vein. And so as far as how the rugs go, when I was studying design, I was studying luxury design. I wanted to accommodate that particular clientele where it's very discerning, it's higher end. And I saw that as a very tongue-in-cheek because typically murals, they're free to look at, they're temporary, they're prone to the weather, they're outside, they get painted over. And I said, let's take that concept and make it permanent, make it exclusive, make it for a very special collector and bring it indoors. And it was sort of like a juxtaposition of how this art is created to how it can be. The weaving method, we use the finest weaving method. Everything is hand knotted. So a particular rug, depending on how detailed and how large it is, will take anywhere up to 5-6 months per rug. Wow. There's an average of about 550,000, more than 500,000 knots per rug on the average rug. Some of the larger ones, they tip over the million scale.
Million knots.
All handmade.
So if we're talking translated to nautical speed, 1,000,000 knots would be like light speed as opposed to like what a sailboat can do, basically.
Something like that, but
a little light speed of rugs, folks. In addition to the rugs that I really admire about this place is I know you've really made steps to kind of make it a hub for artists, local artists, and of all spectrums. Is that your book?
Yeah.
Awesome. You're making rugs with this crazy guy right here?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Talk about LA and why it is such a fertile place for artists and designers.
For a while, like New York was the mecca of design and creativity and however else. But I really think right now LA is, I don't know why the trend is as it is, but it just is. How I utilize my space, it just sort of like welcomes and nurtures creativity. So we'll do pop-ups, we'll do art shows, we'll do events. And I just think it really helps enrich the culture of LA, the creative culture, the design culture. LA right now, because of the sort of like mass movement of people from New York, Miami, from different parts of the world. And when you have that many creatives in one space, it's really exciting and interesting. And then for me to be able to connect with them professionally with a reason and not just be like, hey, I like your work, but to be able to have some sort of like a professional semblance, I'm honored to be in that sort of position, and I really feed off of that.
So you're like a professional fan.
I'm a professional fan.